Karen, did you do that on purpose? Why would you do that to us?
Huh? What do you mean all of a sudden? What are you talking about?
Oh, acting like you don't know. I heard you're having a party at your place today.
Yeah, that's right. But, oh, wait, are you upset because you weren't invited? Stop it. There's no way I'd invite someone like you.
That doesn't matter to me at all.
Doesn't matter, you say. You really are the type of woman who says things like that.
What I'm trying to say is, why today of all days?
Huh? What do you mean, why today? I can throw a party whenever I want. It's my choice, isn't it?
Of course it is, but I'm asking if it's really just a coincidence.
What do you mean, coincidence? Oh, by the way, I heard today's your daughter's birthday. And I heard you were planning a birthday party, too. Sorry. I'm kind of stealing all her friends for my party. They're all coming to mine.
So you knew all along? I knew something was off. Everyone canceling plans all of a sudden, like they were in on it together. Why is this happening?
Why? Well, that's easy to explain. It's because I don't like you. I went out of my way to try to bring you into the circle of mom friends, and you turned me down.
What do you mean, mom friends? Those people are just your followers. You act like some kind of queen, treating everyone like your servants.
I'm not acting like a queen. I am one. After all, my husband works for a big corporation.
So what? What does that even mean?
Huh? What do you mean, so what?
Just because your husband works for a big company doesn't mean you're anything special.
What the hell are you saying? A woman's worth is decided by her husband's status.
What kind of ridiculous value system is that?
And compared to that, just look at you. Hey, where does your husband work again? Oh, that's right. You're a single mother, aren't you? How pathetic. You're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Why do you have to say such things?
Stop getting so defensive. I tried to be kind, tried to include you, but instead, this ungrateful idiot decided to embarrass me. Did you think you could get away with it?
I see now. I was wondering why you've been so nasty to me and why you've been bothering me, but it turns out it's such a petty reason.
You noticed I was bothering you?
Of course I did.
Well, then you should be more upset and act all nervous. You always look so calm and collected. That's what bothers me about you.
So that's why you shifted your target from me to my daughter, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Seems like this really hurt, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
How does it feel now?
My insides are boiling with rage.
Serves you right. I can't believe a single mother from the bottom of the barrel is throwing a birthday party and calling all her friends, probably living in some crappy apartment, right? Were you planning on cramming them all into a place like a slave ship? Meanwhile, my house is a luxury tower apartment. Everyone must be secretly happy to be at my tower party instead of your run-down apartment birthday party.
That's not true at all. Everyone knows what kind of evil person you are, and they know that if they refuse to go, you'll target them. So they're just reluctantly going along with it. Don't think for a second that they actually like you.
You're so irritating, always saying things like that. No matter how much you pretend to be strong, it doesn't change the fact that you're a loser. A bottom-tier mother and daughter should be celebrating in a run-down apartment alone on your birthday. That's what you deserve.
No, we're having a great time here.
Huh? What's that lie? That's impossible. Everyone's here at my party.
Well, sure, it's a little lonely that my friends couldn't come, but I invited some celebrity acquaintances and street performers, so it's still a blast. The party's going well despite everything.
What? Celebrities? Street performers?
I haven't been able to spoil them much because of my busy schedule, but I figured I should at least make the anniversary special so I go all out every year. And yet...
Hey, what are you talking about? You're suddenly sprouting out these weird delusions. This is honestly creeping me out.
Whether it's a delusion or not, we'll find out soon enough.
You really think so? Are you so sure that everyone's laughing with you, that they want to be there? I see right through you, you know. You might be able to control the situation for now, but deep down, there's nothing to it. You're empty inside.
What a laughable thing to say. You're trying to act like you have everything figured out, but in reality, you're nothing. You have no idea what's really going on behind the scenes. I'm not stupid enough to fall for it. Let's see how long it takes for you to realize that you're just as much of a joke as I am. You'll see. You really think I'm a joke? How long do you think you can hold on to this high horse of yours? I'm not the one who's pretending to be someone I'm not. You can go ahead and act like you have it all, but eventually everyone will see through it. The truth always comes out. You think I care about what people think? People can say whatever they want. I'm still doing just fine. And when they realize the truth about you, don't come running to me for sympathy. Oh, I'm sure I'll be just fine. But I'll tell you one thing. It's going to be interesting to see how you cope with the fallout, because you can't keep up this facade up forever. And when it falls apart, I won't be there to catch you. You're so sure of yourself, aren't you? But I'm not worried. You think I'm just some naive, easily influenced woman, but you're wrong. I've dealt with worse people than you before. You think I care about your little games? You really don't know who you're dealing with. Oh, I know exactly who you are. You think you're better than everyone else because of your husband's job, but that doesn't mean anything to me. You think I care about your fancy parties in your tower apartment? Those things don't impress me. You're just a woman hiding behind material wealth. That's all you'll ever be.
So what if I'm hiding behind material wealth? At least I have it to hide behind. You don't even have that.
That's where you're wrong. I don't need material things to prove my worth. I have my own strength, my own dignity, and I don't need your approval. I'm not some trophy wife, and I don't need to rely on anyone else to feel validated.
Oh, please, spare me the speech about dignity. We both know you're just trying to convince yourself of something you don't believe. If you really had all that, you wouldn't be here talking to me like this.
And what about you? You think that by bullying me, you're somehow elevating yourself? It doesn't work that way. You're just making yourself look pathetic.
Pathetic? I'm not the one who's clinging to a false sense of security. You're the one who's pretending that everything is okay when it clearly isn't. You think you've got it all figured out, but deep down, you're just as lost as the rest of us.
We'll see who's lost when it's all said and done. But for now, I've got nothing to prove to you, and I'm certainly not going to waste any more of my time on someone like you. I'm really sorry about today, Chloe.
Why are you apologizing?
Well,
it was such an amazing time. I had so much fun. It's a shame that my friends couldn't make it, but that's just how things go sometimes, isn't it? We can't always control everything. But the most important thing is that you were there to celebrate with me, and that's what made it all so special.
Chloe, I'm really sorry.
But there's no need to apologize, Mom. You didn't do anything wrong at all. In fact, you did something really wonderful by organizing such an amazing birthday celebration. I can't thank you enough for everything you did.
I know, but it's because I couldn't handle things properly with the other moms, and that's why things turned out this way. I really misjudged everything. I had no idea it would go this far.
Even so, it really isn't your fault. I think you did your best, and that's all that matters. You shouldn't feel guilty about anything.
Are you sure you're okay, though? Are you being treated badly at school? Are they bullying you?
It's not really bullying, but...
Not really bullying?
Well, I do get a few sarcastic comments here and there.
Oh, this must be related to me, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I can't believe it. To think that they would say those things about you in front of me, to a child. How could they do that? It's unbelievable.
But it's okay, Mom. It's nothing I can't handle. I've been giving them a piece of my mind every time they say something. They won't get away with it. I always stand up for myself.
You're so strong. You really are my child after all.
Well, that's because I've learned from the best. I always try to be like you, Mom.
I see. Well, maybe I should take a leaf out of your book and start fighting back too. Up until now, I've been holding myself back, trying not to make waves or cause any problems for you. But now, if things have already gone this far, there's really no point in holding back anymore, is there? I shouldn't stay quiet just to avoid any trouble.
Wait, what are you planning to do?
It's a secret. You're still a bit too young to understand.
You're scaring me now. It sounds like a storm's coming, and not just any storm, a full-blown hurricane.
Oh, don't worry. It's just a little strategy. But you know, sometimes in life, when you let people walk all over you, they start to think it's okay. That's why when they least expect it, you have to show them that you won't just stand by and let them hurt you. There's no reason to let them get away with it, especially when they're being rude and disrespectful to you or your family.
I never thought about it like that. You're right, though. I shouldn't just take it and stay silent.
Exactly. I mean, we don't have to cause trouble, but we also shouldn't let others think they can push us around. I know it's hard, but standing up for yourself doesn't mean you're making a scene. It just means you're making sure that people treat you with the respect you deserve.
Yeah, I get it now. I've been letting people say whatever they want to me, and I shouldn't be doing that. I can stand up for myself too, just like you've been doing.
That's the spirit. And remember, you don't have to do it aggressively or anything. Sometimes just standing firm and not letting them walk all over you is enough. They'll get the message eventually.
I'll try to keep that in mind, Mom. I don't want to make things worse, but I also don't want to keep being a target for their comments.
I'm proud of you, Chloe. Just remember, I'm always here for you no matter what. If you ever need to talk or need any advice, I'm here to listen.
Thanks, Mom. I love you.
I love you too, Chloe. And you'll always be my brave girl. Don't ever forget that.
What's going on?
What do you mean?
My husband is completely out of control. He's so upset right now that I don't even know what's happening anymore. He's saying he might lose his job, and that would be terrible. He said this situation could cost him everything, even his position at work. How is that even possible? Why is all of this happening right now?
Why are you asking me about it? You should be asking your husband directly, right?
I already tried talking to him, but he's all over the place. He's just rambling, not making any sense. He's been saying things like you're the president of a big business client and that the contract might be canceled because of that. What is he talking about? It doesn't make any sense at all. I don't understand what's going on here.
Well, if he's already explained it to you, then what more do you need from me? He's already told you what's happening, right?
Are you serious? That wasn't any explanation at all. It was nonsense. He says you're the president of some major business client. There's no way that could be true.
Why do you think that?
Because you come from a single mother household. You've always been struggling, right? You don't have the connections or the means to run a business, so how could you be a business president?
Just because I'm from a single mother household doesn't mean I'm automatically at the bottom of society, you know.
What are you talking about? You're saying that's not the case? Look at everything around you. It's obvious, isn't it? You can't seriously expect anyone to believe that you've built a successful career out of nothing. It doesn't make sense.
Well, I guess if that's how you see it, I can't change your mind. It's probably true for someone like you, who never thought about becoming independent. Someone who only thinks about relying on others and leeching off them, never making any effort to stand on their own 2 feet. But I'm different from that.
What is that supposed to mean? Are you actually claiming that you're running a company?
Yeah, I am.
Where's the proof? You want me to just take your word for it? I don't believe it unless I see some concrete proof.
Oh, I see. Well, if you don't believe it, that's fine. You don't need to. There's no reason for me to care whether you believe it or not.
What's that supposed to mean?
What's it to you? Who do you think you are?
My husband is an elite worker at a major corporation. We live in a luxury tower apartment. You're not even in the same league as us.
That's not your achievement, though. And frankly, if your husband's about to lose his job, then living in that tower apartment won't last much longer, will it?
What do you mean by that? What are you trying to say? Are you seriously going to mock me like this? What are you trying to do?
I'm not mocking you. I'm just pointing out the truth. You've been going on about your husband being at some prestigious company and living in a fancy tower apartment, but now you're telling me he might be fired? What does that say about everything you've been claiming?
You're just bitter, aren't you? This is some kind of revenge for what happened the other day, right? Your jealousy is showing. You're really sinking to a new low.
I don't care about your husband. I'm talking about what's been going on with you. Do you seriously think you can just do whatever you want and get away with it?
Yes, I do think that.
My family has nothing to do with this.
Then...
But you dragged my daughter into this. You went out of your way to involve her in all of this, and I can't just let it go. If it was just about you causing trouble for me, fine. I could handle that. But once you mess with my daughter, that's when I draw the line. I'm going to use everything I have to crush you, and I won't hesitate.
No, you've got it all wrong. That wasn't some serious issue. It was just a little prank, a joke. You're overreacting. You shouldn't be turning this into something bigger than it is.
You're still trying to justify yourself. You're pretending to be the victim in all of this when you're the one who started everything. Go ahead. Keep making excuses for yourself. I'm done with you.
Wait, hold on. Are you really going to just walk away like this? You don't even care that your husband could lose his job?
What do you expect me to do? What can I possibly do to fix this for you? If you want something from me, then maybe you should have thought about that before. But now that everything's out in the open, I'm not going to just help you out of nowhere.
I didn't mean it like that. Please, listen to me. Just cancel the contract talks and I'll forgive you for everything. I'll let go of everything that's happened up until now. How about it? This could work out for both of us.
What? You want me to cancel everything just like that? You think I'm going to take your word for it after everything that's happened? How ridiculous. And while we're at it, I think you should work on your character, your face, your upbringing, and even your bad breath. You've got a lot to fix.
What? How dare you talk to me like that? After everything I've done for you, how can you say such awful things to me?
You really are the type of person who thinks they can get away with anything, aren't you? You've got such a strong sense of being the victim, but when the tables are turned, you can't handle it.
Please, my husband is the only one with any value in this family. He's the only one making money, and if he loses his job, we'll be nothing. You don't understand. He's the one who holds everything together.
I really feel sorry for you.
You do? You think so too? Well, that's why I need your help. You can fix this, right? Please don't let him lose his job.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about your husband. You know, the one who married a person like you. He really got himself into trouble, didn't he?
You've got to be kidding me. The real victim here is me. I married him because he was an elite at a prestigious company, and now he's about to get fired? I thought we were set for life, but now everything's falling apart. What am I supposed to do?
The reason he's about to get fired is because of you, isn't it?
It's all your fault. If you hadn't made me so angry, none of this would have happened.
Fine. Anyway, just like you said, the contract is going to be canceled, and your husband won't lose his job. Everything's going to work out fine. Don't worry about it.
What? You're just going to surprise me like that? Well, of course it's obvious. Everything else would have been way too unreasonable.
Yes, everything's going to be fine. The contract won't be canceled and your husband won't be fired.
Of course not.
Yeah, because you're the one who's going to get fired.
What? Why me?
What are you talking about?
Why do I have to be the one forced into a divorce?
That's what this is about?
What kind of attitude is that in such a big crisis?
Well, when you put it like that, it's no big deal to me. Frankly, I don't care.
Don't mess with me. Why?
It's not complicated, really. It's a simple situation. Because of someone like you, I've almost lost my job, okay? If I divorce you, it'll solve everything. Seriously.
What the hell? Are you seriously saying that?
Well, that might not be the only reason. But from what I heard, your attitude at home was pretty awful, wasn't it? You treated your husband and daughter badly, barely did anything at all, and even dumped the household chores onto your husband.
Who says I did that? I was just teaching my useless husband and daughter how to behave. What's wrong with that?
About the household chores, though?
Huh? What? Are you saying housework is a woman's job? Are you stupid? We're not living in that time anymore.
Well, maybe sharing the household chores is important, but isn't it wrong for you to make your husband do almost everything? And on top of that, you treat him like an ATM, gossiping about him, saying that his education and his job at a big company are all that matter. That right there doesn't sound like a solid marriage, does it? It's already a good enough reason for a divorce.
What? What do you mean by that? I'm just telling the truth, okay? And I never said anything like that in front of my husband, so it's no big deal.
Well, I took care of it for you.
Huh?
I told him exactly what you've been saying behind his back. How you've been acting like a queen around your friends, trashing him all the time, and how you've been treating him like garbage. Everyone was shocked and disgusted. And I told them I don't hold anything against you, but I can't forgive that woman. As long as she's still his wife, I'll make sure to put a stop to it.
What? You did that? Because of you, my husband is considering a divorce.
No, I never told him to divorce you. That's his decision.
Don't be ridiculous. Saying all that is practically telling him to divorce me.
Well, I guess you can see it that way.
But even so, this is all pointless, you know.
Why's that?
You really think that anything you said could be a reason for divorce? I'll never divorce, no matter what. But you, I'll never forgive you. You did this to me, so I'm going to sue you.
Oh, that's funny. You really think you can take me on?
What's so funny? I am serious.
Oh, I'm serious too. I won't forgive you either. But guess what? If anyone's going to get sued here, it's you.
Huh? Why should I be the one getting sued?
Don't you have all those fake friends, the one you've been hanging out with? They've been kissing up to you and getting all the perks, but as soon as things started going south, they were the first to betray you. You really do surround yourself with trash, don't you?
Huh? What are you talking about?
You really have been living however you wanted, haven't you? You made weak-minded friends pay for you, pushed your way into other people's houses, and even took their things.
Don't say such bad things. I never force anyone to pay for me, and I only get those bags because they gave them to me.
That's exactly what I mean. Your so-called friends turned on you. I've seen the messages. They're all blaming you. They said I couldn't oppose her because I was scared, or if I didn't do what she said, I'd be in trouble.
Those bastards.
I'm hearing from the victims right now. Depending on the situation, criminal charges could be on the table.
Criminal charges? I didn't mean for any of that to happen.
It doesn't matter what you intended. Threatening people is still threatening, and stealing is stealing. You don't think that's a solid reason for a divorce?
Wait, this doesn't need to go that far. I haven't done anything that warrants all this.
Oh, you have. I told you I can handle a little harassment, but if it affects my daughter, I'll make sure there's no mercy.
Ugh, fine, I'll apologize. I'm sorry, I won't do it again.
You're apologizing to the wrong person.
What do you mean?
Apologize to my daughter properly.
All right, let me go see her then.
I won't let you see her in person.
What? Why?
Because I don't want my daughter to be exposed to filth like you.
That's awful. Why do I have to be treated like this?
After everything you've done, you're still playing the victim.
Hey, do you get it? I have a daughter, you know.
So?
Don't you think it's sad for my daughter?
Oh, now you're using your daughter as a shield. You're really hopeless.
That's not it. I'm just thinking about her. You understand, don't you? The way a mother cares about her child.
Of course I care about my daughter more than anything in this world.
Then think about how I feel about my daughter. She's so attached to her dad. How can you take her away from him like this? How could you do something so cruel?
Don't make it sound like I'm the one trying to tear a family apart.
No, you're doing exactly that. If you just forgive me, everything will be fine. My husband won't lose his job, and there won't be a reason for a divorce.
You're the one who made the situation happen.
Stop blaming me. You're the one trying to take my daughter's father away from her. Don't turn your back on the truth.
This is hilarious.
What's so funny? Do you even understand what you're doing? You're making us a single-parent family. Do you want my daughter to bear such a miserable and cruel fate?
Haven't you forgotten something? The person you're talking to is already in a single-parent family, too.
If anything, that makes you understand even more. Do you have any idea how miserable it is? How people make fun of you?
No, it's not miserable, and no one's making fun of me.
Don't lie!
That's just how you see single-parent families, isn't it? Well, sure. It's sad that the child's being separated from their father.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Well, it's not really a problem for me.
What? What do you mean it's not a problem?
Because even after the divorce, your daughter won't be taken away from her father.
What does that mean?
Why do you think you're going to get custody after the divorce?
Huh? Why? Isn't that obvious?
Well, yes. In America, mothers do have an easier time getting custody. But statistically, 90% of the time, it's the mother who gets the child after a divorce, unless there's a major issue with her.
Yes, that's what I thought too.
But you're the one with the issue, Karen.
What? What do you mean?
Shouldn't that be obvious to you?
What? Does that mean my daughter's going to live with her father?
Yes.
What happens to child support then?
The fact that you're asking about child support says everything, doesn't it?
What are you talking about?
You're asking about money when you should be thinking about your daughter's well-being.
Of course I care about my daughter. I'm just worried about how we'll manage financially.
Are you really? It seems like you're more concerned about the material things, Karen. You spend so much time worrying about your lifestyle and what you'll lose that you haven't even thought about how your daughter will feel.
That's not true. I'm just trying to make sure she's comfortable.
Comfort isn't the same as love, Karen. And trust me, your daughter can tell the difference. She knows what's really going on in your relationship.
Don't tell me what she knows. You have no idea what it's like to be in my shoes.
No, I don't. But I'm not the one causing all of this turmoil. If you want things to go smoothly, then maybe you should have thought about the consequences before you treated your family the way you did.
What is your problem? Why do you hate me so much?
Hate? No, Karen, I don't hate you. I just can't stand seeing how much you're willing to destroy everything for your own comfort. You pushed your family to the edge, and now you're pretending like you care about them. It's too late for that.
You have no idea what I've been through. Do you think I wanted any of this to happen?
I don't know what's in your heart, but what I see is a woman who put herself first in everything. You used your husband, your daughter, and your friends. You've hurt people and you've used them for your own benefit. It's no wonder you're facing the consequences now.
You think I'm some kind of monster, don't you?
It's not about thinking, it's about facts, Karen. You've made choices and now those choices are catching up with you.
I didn't want any of this. I never wanted to hurt anyone.
But you did, Karen, and that's what you have to accept. You've hurt people who trusted you, people who loved you, and you can't just brush that off.
What am I supposed to do now? How do I fix all this?
Honestly, I don't think you can fix it. Not without doing some serious work on yourself. Maybe, just maybe, if you really try to change, you can start to make amends with the people you wronged.
So you really think I can't fix things?
It's not about what I think, Karen. It's about what you think. Do you truly want to change? Do you want to show your daughter that you can be better? That you can be the mother she needs?
I don't know. I don't know if I can. I feel like everything is falling apart around me.
Well, that's because it is. And you did that. But you can start over, Karen. You don't have to stay stuck in the same pattern forever. But you need to stop blaming everyone else for your mistakes. However, it's going to be a while until you have the ability to really change yourself. Because really soon, you're going to be facing your husband in court. And there's no way you're going to win. Goodbye. I decided to start a support group for mothers who had been through similar experiences, and we collectively filed a lawsuit against her. I know that many of us have been silently enduring for a long time, unable to speak up. But eventually we reached the breaking point, and the anger and frustration that had been building up inside us finally exploded. When we began to speak out, it was as though we couldn't stop. The voices condemning her came from all directions. Each woman who suffered under her behavior found their voice, and the words just flowed out uncontrollably. At first, it seemed like she would escape with a slap on the wrist, but in the end, she was convicted. It didn't go as far as a prison sentence, but she definitely ended up with a criminal record, one that would follow her for the rest of her life. The legal consequences weren't as harsh as we had hoped, but it was a start. The public exposure of her actions was enough to make her lose a lot of respect, and for many of us, that was the justice we had been waiting for. After the lawsuit, I focused on the divorce proceedings. Her husband, whom I had known for a while, had been quite helpless in the situation, but I introduced him to a lawyer I trusted, a highly skilled one. I thought it would be important to make sure he was well represented in court, as she had already shown that she would fight dirty. But in hindsight, I started to wonder if I really needed to get involved in that way. Perhaps I should have left it to him to figure out his legal strategy. After all, he was the one who was directly affected by her actions. I just wanted to help, to see to it that she didn't get away with manipulating him as she had done with so many others. The reason why I felt the need to step in was because she had been making all sorts of dramatic statements in an attempt to manipulate the situation. She claimed, "How can you take a mother away from her daughter? It's just so cruel." She was playing the victim card, trying to stir up sympathy and create the illusion that she was the one being mistreated. She had even tried to make things to the dojo, trying to pull strings in an effort to gain control. It was also transparent. She was doing everything she could to make herself appear innocent and get away with the manipulation. However, her strategy quickly fell apart when her own daughter spoke up. The girl made it absolutely clear, "I don't want to live with my mother. I'm scared." Those words hit like a punch in the gut, and they left no room for argument. There was no longer any question about what was best for the child. No amount of manipulation could override the truth. Her own daughter didn't want to be with her. That was the turning point. Despite some initial resistance and complications in the legal proceedings, the divorce was finalized. Her husband got custody of their daughter, and the judge made sure to prioritize the child's well-being above all else. It was a hard-earned victory, but one that we all knew had to happen. And as for the child support, well, let's just say that things didn't go as she had hoped. She didn't receive a single penny from her ex-husband. In fact, it was the other way around. She was the one who ended up having to pay child support. It was an ironic twist of fate, considering she had once been so proud of her luxurious lifestyle and her expensive taste. She had once boasted about living in a beautiful mansion, but now she found herself in a rundown apartment, struggling to make ends meet. She had been used to the high life, surrounded by wealth and luxury, but now she was facing the consequences of her actions. Her pride had been her downfall, and she had no one to blame but herself. The whole experience was deeply satisfying for those of us who had been wronged by her. Seeing her fall from grace was like watching a high and mighty figure finally crumble under the weight of their own lies and arrogance. It was hard to ignore the sense of justice that followed her downfall, but at the same time, I couldn't help but feel sorry for her. In the end, her actions had left her isolated and without support. She had alienated everyone who had once been on her side. Interestingly, this whole situation shifted the dynamic within our group of mothers. I found myself unexpectedly taking a leadership role. It wasn't something I had intended or expected, but it happened naturally. The others in the group looked to me for guidance, and I ended up being the one who made the tough decisions. I had always been a quiet, behind-the-scenes kind of person, but after everything that had happened, I couldn't stand by and watch as people were still being taken advantage of. Someone had to step up, and it seemed that the task had fallen to me. At first, I wasn't sure how to handle it. I had never wanted to be the boss of anything, but when it came to ensuring my daughter's safety and peace of mind, I realized that I couldn't just stay in the background anymore. I had to do whatever it took to make sure she and the other children were protected. If that meant leading the charge against someone who had hurt so many people, then I would do it without hesitation. As for the others, some of them had been just as caught up in her web of manipulation as I had been in the past. They had flattered her, joined her side, and benefited from the perks of being in her inner circle. But I wasn't going to let them get off easily. I didn't want to be cruel, but I couldn't allow them to continue enabling her behavior. They had to be held accountable for their actions as well. I made sure that they understood the consequences of their choices. I didn't let them get away with it just because they were part of the same social group. They needed to understand that what they had done was not just wrong, but harmful to everyone around them. There was no excuse for supporting someone who had hurt so many people, and I wasn't going to let them pretend it didn't matter. It wasn't easy, and there were some uncomfortable moments. I knew that some of the others were angry with me for calling them out, but I couldn't back down. This wasn't just about personal feelings. It was about doing what was right. Sometimes doing the right thing meant making tough decisions and standing firm, even when it wasn't popular. And so, while the focus remained on the fallout from her actions, I made sure to address the other issues that had been festering in the background. I didn't want to let the situation end with just one victory. I wanted to ensure that the future was better for everyone involved, especially the children. If I could help to prevent another mother from falling into the same traps of manipulation and deceit, then I would do whatever it took. In the end, the most important thing was that my daughter could go to school without fear, without the anxiety that had once plagued her every day. She could finally live a peaceful life, free from the toxic influence of someone who had once been close to us. That was the real victory, and it was worth every ounce of effort I had put into making it happen. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.